Across the world, homelessness affects millions of people. From children to the elderly, many are left to rely on limited resources, a lack of shelter, and little opportunity to provide for themselves and survive. Causes of homelessness range from job loss to personal crisis to natural disaster and everything in between.
Many cities try to work with the homeless. They provide food and shelter, oftentimes even job opportunities. However, the cities left without funding are left with large populations of homeless people who take to the streets to find money.
Due to their unfortunate circumstances, it is often thought that these people only want money for drugs and alcohol, rather than to purchase food and necessities. Due to misconceptions like these, accompanied by the limited resources provided by the government, the task to survive becomes even harder.
In an interview with a local community member, I asked about his reaction when he sees homeless people outside. I also asked what his impressions were when they asked him for money. All right, so today we're interviewing, what's your name?
Brad.
All right, so we're going to ask you a few questions about homelessness, if that's okay with you. What's your first impression when you hear the word homeless?
I kind of think of like the non-fortunate people that may not have stuff like other people who work jobs and make money and stuff.
Okay. And if you saw a homeless person who asked you for money on the side of the road, what would you think about giving them money? Would you do it, or would you have any other ideas or impressions?
Sometimes I hesitate for money because they could be spending it on something that they shouldn't. So I'd rather give them like food or water or something like an item that they can use instead of like money.
Okay. And in your opinion, are homeless people given enough resources by the government to help them, or do you think more can be done to help out the homeless people and give them a better chance of succeeding?
I think like a little more can be done, like make it a little bit easier for them to get a job without having like previous experience.
Okay.
But besides that, not really.
All right. And thank you. After the interview, I realized that people want to help the homeless with food and other necessities, but are worried because of the fact that they believe that people will buy drugs and alcohol. I wanted to research more ways that people can donate directly to the homeless by providing food and other resources. I found that there are very limited resources across the United States and very isolated food banks that can do so.
In areas with little infrastructure and cities with widespread poverty, difficulties are faced when trying to collect resources, such as food and clothing, to provide to the homeless. The lack of easily accessible donation sites discourages many from assisting and donating. Although many citizens have the means to provide assistance and donations, it seems as though many lack motivation and encouragement to do so. If more designated donation sites and food banks were constructed and advertised within our cities and metropolitan areas, would donations increase? I wanted to find out, and I conducted an interview. Hello, what's your name?
Hello, my name's Jenna Ling.
All right, and where are you from?
I'm originally from Michigan, but I'm currently living in Chicago from college.
Okay. And do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Yep, go ahead.
All right. How often would you say you would encounter a homeless individual?
I'd say considering I live in Chicago, it's very frequently. They live under bridges and you always see them gathering in similar places. They sleep on the L at night, so I see them when I take the L, and they're even just outside of my dorm area.
Okay. And have you ever donated to a homeless individual?
I definitely have downtown. I haven't like in my area, but every time I go downtown, I always am thinking about it, and it's hard to get myself not to.
Of course. And do you have any concerns when you're donating?
I definitely do. I think there's like a common perception that, like you don't know what they're going to do with the money, or if the things they're going to do is bad for them and put them in a worse place than they already are, type thing. So,
Okay. And of course, you hope that they get the things they need when you donate. Are there any direct ways to give them food that's easy for you, food and necessities that gets directly to them so that they're not buying things that they don't need?
I personally don't know any ways. I've thought about trying to like make things easier in that way, but I know of none.
Okay. And do you have any ideas that would make it easier to donate, to give
Uh,
them food directly?
I'd say definitely like more places to drop food off where it's getting straight to these people through like organizations or stuff, or even storefronts, putting signs out saying like you can like drop food off here for homeless or something like that.
Next time you encounter a homeless individual, remember, they aren't in their situation by choice. consider donating and trying to assist them. If you don't feel comfortable, ask yourself, if I had an easier way to donate and assist, would I? Could more programs to provide food directly to the homeless be easier for me? If so, consider educating others on the issue. Push for change. We can all make a difference. Thank you for watching.